like we all have
Yeah.
changes and things that happen in our lives, but you don't post those things. It's like taking like a reel of tape and then the bad parts, you just like snip it and your 1,300 followers, whatever, are completely unaware of that segment that you have snipped. And you're only showing like the highlights. It's like some ESPN type thing where you're only showing like the 3 pointers or the dunks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people often forget that.
Extremely
What's up?
different sounds.
Yo, we got a
Hold
Spanish
on, I'm gonna clean the
poppy in here.
camera.
We got a
I'm
Spanish.
gonna clean the camera. Give me a
I bet.
second.
I bet. Okay, we are live. We are now recording. Hello Twitch. Hello YouTube. My name is Jaden. You can call me Olas, and I'm here with two magnificent musicians, two magnificent artists, wonderful gentlemen. If y'all want to introduce yourselves.
Go ahead.
Well, what's up, guys? My name is Mateo. They also call me Isanadre. I play guitar, I make beats, and I rap, and that's what I do. Hope you're all well.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I'm Roman. I'm a producer mainly, also engineer, and as you just heard, I'm an artist as well. But mainly a producer as of recent.
Oh,
Yes, sir, man. So today we have we're just gonna chat a little podcast style. Today we're talking about artists versus the social media depression cycle. I got a couple questions. We're gonna see what you guys think. Talk a little bit, shed some wisdom, share some laughs along the way. You know, get your bevs. I got some ice cream with me if you got a snack with you.
Bro, if I got caught without the bev, bro,
only
that's,
water.
Yeah, don't get caught
that's what I
lacking,
like
man.
to hear. Yes.
It's
Can't
there
be
only
caught with
water.
that cotton now.
That's
No,
straight
sir.
H2O. All right, now, first question. This is a weird one, simple one though. Why does social media brainwash and give people depression?
So I guess I think the big thing is the algorithms. I think is the biggest thing. It is literally programmed to keep you interested. So only the most, especially things like Instagram, TikTok. I'm mainly speaking for. I'm not too sure about other ones, but it does. The most stuff you interact with, the most it's gonna push to the top, and that might not always be the stuff you want to see per se.
Hmm.
So unfortunately, a lot of the times people that are content creators, especially beginning content creators, just getting their foot in the door, um, people aren't interacting with it as much, and it doesn't get as much interaction as you think you might get. Um, so yeah.
For me, like I think the biggest thing is when you're on, social media, you tend to compare yourself to other people. So like me personally, I see like, some of my favorite artists, some like producers like in my close circle, producers in like group chats that I'm in, like communities, like, you know, they don't use their age to flex. Like they go like, "Oh, I'm a 14-year-old producer and I have X many placements." You know what I mean? But like I see, these 17-year-old kids getting ahead, and I'm thinking like, damn, am I left behind? Like I compare myself to that, and one thing I try to remember that like is like comparing and comparisons is the ultimate thief of joy. I forgot where I read that, but that resonated with me. And it really does. It takes your happiness. It kills like the vibe. It make you sort of lose your sense of self-worth. Like specifically for me, like I try to remember like, hey, like I got a circle of people who like support me, and I know what I'm capable of. And at the end of the day, we are all on our own timelines. You know what I mean? Like you could be
Yeah.
17 getting it, or you could be 24, finally making a name for yourself. Like the end goal is still the same, no matter you get there first or a little later.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree, bro. I feel like what really constitutes the cyclical nature of what social media does to people's minds is kind of inherently present in just the psychological aspects of pleasure and kind of seeing some kind of like perfect representation of what you compare your life should be like because somebody else has, I don't know, access to a studio or a lot of what apparently seems to be like money and materialistic signs of success. And as you compare the areas in life where you are either lacking or completely absent in those qualities, I feel like that's where you begin to feel depressed and felt and like left behind. Like I think like FOMO is the term, like fear of missing out. Um, and I think that even though it inherently hurts us in these ways, social media is like Roman was saying, like it's pretty much engineered to make you want to continue consuming the content, want to continue staying on the platforms. And so it's just like a vicious cycle in that sense that it keeps feeding into itself because we're constantly looking at things we don't have. Like something else, to add on to like what you said that you had read somewhere that you don't remember. I don't remember where I read this, but the quote is something along the lines of we are happy when we focus on what we have and not on what we are missing. And I think that social media is kind of feeding off of the fact that that's a difficult but conscious decision that we have to make is to appreciate what we have and not what we perceive
Yo,
other people to have that we're missing.
I'm so happy
Yeah,
you said that because this whole summer, like this whole entire summer, like I've been keeping this like consciously in the back of my mind and practicing it. I've been
yeah,
practicing gratitude and just being thankful and like appreciative for
Yes.
like the shit that I have. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah, bro.
have like the equipment. I have the people who love and support me. I have people who mess with my music. Like that's like shit that I'm
Extremely
grateful for.
rare.
Exactly. And like practicing like hey like I do have people who actually do like fuck with my shit. I have people who
Of
do mess
course,
with the vision. I found so much happiness within that, and I urge people to you know you know take a step back and realize, hey, like I do have the necessities. I do have some people who do see the vision, who do support my art, my music, and like just practice gratitude, bro. It's like it's simple in layman's terms, but like the act of actually putting that in action and like realizing that it takes time. But like I found so much happiness from that, so I'm happy you said that, Mateo.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that being grateful is possible when shared at the right quantity with social media, but I definitely don't think that you should post about every win on social
Mm-hmm.
media or everything that you do because it's kind of like
100%.
I heard somebody say that like your social media is only like 20% of your life and the other 80% is this natural like completely human oscillation between doing well and doing bad because nobody stays constant, like we all have
Yeah.
changes and things that happen in our lives, but you don't post those things. It's like taking like a reel of tape and then the bad parts you just like snip it and your 1,300 followers, whatever, are completely unaware of that segment that you have snipped, and you're only showing like the highlights. It's like some ESPN type thing where you're only showing like the 3 pointers or the dunks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people often forget that. They
do,
think that
do you
it's like
think
this
that
It's
people
everything.
accurate representation.
sorry, Roman, do you think people should like share, and then like this is a question for like both of you guys, do you think like people should share, I guess, not losses, but like should share like a more vulnerable, realer side on the internet? Do you think that is something that
Yeah.
should, or you think so?
For sure. For sure.
I was just about to say this actually. I was just about to ask you all your opinion on this. I think it has its pros and cons. I think it it very much depends on the route you're trying to take in the music industry, and if you're trying to go a more commercial approach versus a more connection to your fan base approach. And because I feel like a lot of people will connect with something like that and appreciating being a lot more human on the platform. Um, but I feel like other people, it might almost sway them the wrong way, give them the wrong opinion, or take you less seriously. Um, yeah.
That's a good point. And I think it also, like, just to add on, showing your vulnerabilities and just like being more, I guess, honest per se on the internet,
Yeah.
that could definitely, hurt you for sure. Like
100%.
like you're giving like especially if you're like a public profile or a business profile, you're giving like people you may never meet in person the opportunity to learn shit learn shit about you. You know what I mean? It's like
Definitely.
next thing. So I want to like head in the space of social media in the context of being an artist. So like the biggest thing. Let me make sure my okay good. My mic is on. But, us as artists and musicians, like specifically people who are unsigned, underground, people who take music seriously enough to market themselves and like advertise and promote for themselves. Like if you're not paying for a service like Boost Collective, you're going to be marketing and promoting all your music yourself, and obviously you send to the people who like help with your music and support your music. So with that being said, social media is sort of like an ingrained thing in like artists like nowadays, like the circle of musicians. Now my question is, how do we as artists utilize social media platforms whilst avoiding the pitfalls of social media? How do we maximize it and optimize social media in a way that we could gear it as an entrepreneur and less of a consumer, you know?
What's your opinion, Roman? I'll let you go first.
Well, for me, at least personally, I try just not to scroll endlessly on social medias, and I really try to, at least recently, I've been trying to do other forms of entertainment outside of social media and more so look at social media as I feel like what more it's intended for outside of entertainment, like connecting with people, showing people almost like a public portfolio of the stuff that you do want to show to the audience or public clients, but possibly. Um, so I think a big thing is, I guess, changing your relationship with social media almost and taking away from just being just a pleasure thing that you also do content for because also let me add another thought, not take it that seriously almost because I feel like if you take any comments that are negative too seriously or you don't take if you're not getting this the reception that you're wanting this the right way that seriously,
Yeah.
um do take it seriously, but just know like it's not all in your control almost.
Damn, that's a really
Yeah,
good point. That
anyone
is definitely
wants
a
to
really good
continue it.
point. I feel like a lot of people definitely give the numbers at the end of the day, will determine if you could get, you know, a certain gig or a show, or like your numbers may determine a check, but at the end of the day they are just numbers. And like if you look past all the noise, like I think we should sort of like not take away the power of numbers, but like what you said, like don't take it too seriously. Because I know I've posted and like dropped songs, and it's like people don't listen like a month after I drop it, and it's like, bro, like damn, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, like I think it's just like you gotta just accept it and move on. Like you can't get caught up in something, especially with social media. Like if one post doesn't turn out too well or you have a bad couple months with engagement, you take what you can learn from it and you try to just progress with that.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that should be done to keep that distinction between the consumer and content creator is to have different accounts. Like if you're gonna have an account where your family follows you and you do, whatever personal communication you do through that, have that be completely separate from the account where you're like posting your music's reels and where you're trying to engage with your content. Because having that separate account, it takes away from like the notifications, the temptation of scrolling through your feed. And it's almost like kind of like when you sit down at your desk at home. We got your MIDI keyboard, your PC, you could turn it on. Like you have all these distractions to do homework versus sitting at your library's desk, going to Berkeley or something, and there's no distractions. There's nothing. You can just focus on
I
what you
I
gotta
see what you're
focus
saying.
on.
Yeah.
Like it's like when you go to that new account, it's only for what you came to do. Like you don't want to scroll on that account. You're just posting, and I don't know, like maybe sending that reel or story to somebody else so that they could share it and do whatever propagation you have to do with that. But there definitely just have to be boundaries, because I don't know. I feel like we could make music in our rooms for ourselves all day. We don't make this for ourselves. We make it for everybody. You want everybody to listen to this. You want everybody to like this, or a large majority of people. You want your music to be received well. And that, even if you try not to, that intrinsically always a little bit will have a little bit of like validation seeking. And social media is like
Mhm.
Yeah,
gasoline for
yeah.
that flame,
High
bro.
key,
Like
dude.
it's gasoline for that flame. And you really have to learn to measure that. So just don't scroll, bro. And there will always be someone better.
He
You know what
said,
I'm
"Yo,
saying?
don't."
Like
True,
Real.
true, true. Good point.
uh,
Real.
He said, bro, just don't
uh,
scroll. Yo, so to add on to
It's
that,
true
that's a
though.
good point. So, set your boundaries. That's one. I got two that I could add to, utilizing your social media as a brand, you know, and not get caught up in the traps.
yeah.
First one is, this is a very simple one you could do literally right now. I turn off all my social media, Twitter, IG, TikTok, YouTube. I turn off all the notifications. Like I will not get a single notification on my phone. All I get is like messages, calls, and like Discord. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I try to keep that shit, like on locks. Like because there was a point in time, especially like the beginning of the summer, bro, I was becoming addicted, dude. Like I became addicted to Instagram Reels. Like I would like literally just be there, dude, bro,
All day.
and like my brain was like, ooh, like short, and like I wasn't even like feeling like the happiness and the thrill of like
It's not.
making
It's
a
just
fire beat.
enough though.
Exactly, it's like just enough. It's like a little bit, and you keep doing it, and it
And
like
it's fast enough. That's why.
exactly, and like that's why like the traps like TikTok, like everything is like quick. It promotes quick content. It promotes boom boom boom, colors colors, pop pop pop. You know what I'm saying? So like real
Can I
like
add
I
something when you're done with
yeah,
this?
hell yeah, for sure. Like
Finish up though.
once I like realized that, I was like, bro, like not only did I waste this amount of time, because time, I believe, is our most valuable resource. Time is also money. I would be on that shit and realize, yo, I need to get dinner now. So like I started setting that boundary, and then the last thing before, and then you could go, Roman. The last thing I would say is be intentional with your usage. So like if you're going on Instagram, like if you're referring to a later post, be like, I'm gonna refer to this later post. I'm not gonna let like fucking Southside's take on FL Studio versus Mac. I'm not gonna let any of those IG baddies like distract me. I'm not gonna let like uh, the newest like Arturia keyboard distract me from doing what I'm gonna intentionally do on this platform. You know what I mean? If I'm going to post like two things of content, post two things of content, get off. You know, if you're connecting with someone, connect with them. DM them, network, do your thing, and then hop off. You know what I mean? So like those are my two things. Be intentional and like turn off your notifications. Because at the end of the day, like turning off your notifications actually forces you to be intentional with your with your social media usage too. So I think that's sort of what I've been like working on, and it's been helping. But there's always room for improvement. But yeah, Roman, you got it.
That's a great idea though, of turning off your notifications. I honestly might have to try that soon. I was just gonna add about the attention span and the quickness and all that on how that relates to the music industry and I guess entertainment as a whole. Like I feel like people just aren't it's a lot harder to grasp somebody's attention and actually get a full idea across, especially with social media, and even going across different forms of content like music and stuff like that. Um, I'm just so fascinated on where it's gonna go from here. That's basically all I want to add.
For sure. I was just unmuting myself.
Are you good?
Yeah, dude. I don't think it's gonna slow down. It's not gonna slow down.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's only gonna continue, and that brings up the question of I always think about this on how I believe the album format is gonna go away. Not go away, but
True. I want to hear what
very for the
Mateo has to
most
say
part go
about
down.
this. Like, what do you guys mess with more, albums or EPs? Like,
Albums
do you have a
by far. I'm an album
preference?
junkie.
Yeah.
Album for sure.
So
But
I think I went from album to EP. I think I like the conciseness of having like 4 or 5 tracks that are just banger. You know what I mean?
fair. It is dope when you get a really dope EP, but I just think with an album you can get a much better idea across.
All right. Yeah.
That's the main
Fair.
reason.
Good point. Good point. Any
But
final?
also,
Yeah.
oh sorry, I was just gonna say,
You're
but
good.
also you can get crazy ideas off of one song, so I guess it really doesn't matter.
True. Why do you like albums, Mateo?
Why do I like albums? I feel like I don't know, dude. Like, because you got to look at it from two perspectives. There's like the consumer perspective, where it's a journey that is very visibly at a beginning. It takes some kind of path down some Lord of the Rings type thing, and then you arrive at a destination at the end. And there's supposed to be some kind of closure or resolution, like on this. I don't know. I believe it to be some kind of grand scale because these things are like it's a lot of work, to put together 12, 14, 18 songs. Like
True. Dude,
it's
Logic's
it's a
last Vinyl Days was like 20 something tracks,
yeah,
bro.
it was like 30, dude. It was a
Yeah,
lot.
That's
30.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
and
Fucking skits, bro.
I don't know. I think that when you make an album and you like embark on that journey yourself, like that is as much of a personal journey for you making that album as an artist as it is for people to kind of like perceive it in its finished product once they're consuming it. And that story is kind of what also makes the album so, I don't know, it's such an enticing kind of format of delivering the music because it's pretty much non-verbally understood that you've probably worked on this for a while and a lot has happened in like your life to make you want to make relatable music that people will want to continue to listen to. And it's that like expectation of, you know maybe 3 years have gone by before you've decided to drop this, and you've visited other countries or done really amazing things that can transmit into great art. And I just think the album is the best format to kind of build that anticipation, and then you get to listen to it. And it's like, I don't know, dude. Logic albums, for example, I love being a part of Logic album drops because I'm never disappointed.
What's your favorite Logic
So
album?
that, I mean, that's my opinion. Obviously, less songs means
Oh
less
shit, I'm
work. You can
muted.
get
Fuck.
it out faster, but that's just what it
Yeah. What's your favorite Logic album?
is. My favorite Logic album is Under Pressure,
Okay, that's a
the first
super
one.
solid album. I like The Incredible True Story. That's probably my favorite from.
Yeah, that's a dope one. I have the Everybody vinyl.
I thought you were
That's
gonna
also
say.
where like what
I
That's
thought you were
dope.
gonna
what.
say that's a
what
dope one, but The Incredible True Story sucks.
No, no, no. I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic album. I have an affinity with the Everybody album. It's where this tattoo came from,
Gotcha.
and yeah, I think it's a dope. Like all of his work, I think. The other thing, like you just made me think of it, like an aesthetic purpose. Like all of the music in an album, if you make it properly, sounds like it exists in the same universe.
True.
Like
Yes.
If you do it right,
there
bro. If you do it
there
right. I definitely did not do that with my first album, The World Is Yours, but the message does
there's
still
like
stand.
yeah, there's like sound design choices that you should make, sound selection choices that make the music feel cohesive. It's like a story that just goes to a different chapter when each song goes by. And albums that feel like a journey, like a story like that, pretty much fulfill our most basic understanding of the definition of music, which is to transmit human experience.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think albums are the best way to do that, personally.
It's a
How do you?
fascinating perspective.
Yeah. Logic. I mean, Logic. Fucking Logic. How do you feel about Roman? No, Roman. How do you feel about Logic? And then I want to ask both you guys, how do you all feel about Good Kid, Mad City?
Interesting. I think
Sheesh.
I definitely need to get more into Logic's music. I've only really listened to the hits, and I've listened to Under Pressure and the Incredible Story, and I've also listened to Everybody, but I don't really remember too much from it,
For sure.
unfortunately. Um,
Under Pressure is
I
definitely the
think
highlight.
Yeah, it's
to
a
me.
phenomenal album. I do need to revisit though, because the last time I listened to it, I wasn't really a musician. I wasn't really a producer. I didn't understand music. I was still very much in the listener headspace of just sound. Nice.
Appreciating. Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
exactly. Which is an extremely, it's like a whole new listening experience when you understand music versus when you don't. But also not really. Yeah. um, but what was the second question, Jaden? My bad.
It was what do you guys feel about Good Kid, Mad City?
Oh, yes, yes. That's actually one of my favorite concept albums of all time. I think it's probably the best on transmitting you to almost like a movie-like cinematic experience with all the sound effects,
Sure.
all the
Yeah.
little phone calls, all the little even the little stories that he uses, or
It's
like when he uses
intentional
like
with every
phasers.
single skit. Yeah, every
Or-
Yeah,
single choice, every
exactly.
single like drum placement, arrangement, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
hear that.
also like has layers to the meta almost with like a song like Swimming Pools being a trap banger, but also being about and like having a chorus about drinking and
Hmm.
also being about alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
Like I find that to be fascinating.
Yeah, likewise. How about you,
I
Mateo?
think I think that I don't know, dude. I think that this kind of goes back to the point that I made where all the songs should sound like they exist within this conceptual like Roman puts it in a great way to say it's kind of like a film
Mhm.
because albums should have this kind of storytelling narrative that is obviously so endemic to Kendrick's music. And I think that that album like I would compare it to Under Pressure because it's about this like extremely difficult time in this individual's like personal life. References to that, just like Logic kind of has like Under Pressure, and that story kind of goes through the music and is interpreted through how he personifies that in the tracks, and he does it masterfully. I think it's a great album.
I hear that. Damn. So we covered everything. We hit a little bit of album talk, EP talk. Uh,
Yeah.
we hit a
Of
little bit, the social media. We hit all the points. I want to say thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for being on the stream.
course.
Uh,
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
yes, sir. Anything? Any last words y'all want to say? Shout out anything? Any projects dropping? Anything we should look forward to? Where do we follow you on the gram? Be intentional.
Hey yo. Yeah. Shout out Roman D Ricardo. Ricardo. Yeah.
You can find me at Isanadre, Esanadre. Music definitely coming soon, and Roman, I'll definitely hit you up. We should work, bro.
Of course, yo. Of course.
Yes, sir.
Definitely down.
Gang, gang, gang. All right. Good shit, boys. I'm gonna end the recording. Peace out. Ba
Oh.
ba 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 ba.